Hi, I'm Nicole Elmy and I'm the National Director for Indigenous Relations, and I'm here today with Michelle Hunt. I'm thrilled to be on your ancestral territory with you, and I'm looking forward to our conversation. In your own words, tell us about what it's like to be back in your home territory.
Well, when I first came home, I was at a community meeting in our hall. I was trying to decide what I was going to do, what was my next chapter. I was approached with a job offer to be a liaison between my nation, the Kwakiutl First Nation, and the Coast Guard. They wanted to build an environmental response depot and a base here. This position became available to kind of liaise between the nation and Coast Guard so that Coast Guard could make sure that things were done right. Our people have been on the water and on these shorelines for so long, and that's what we do. We make sure people are safe out there and make sure our ocean is clean, our shorelines are clean, and that's exactly what the Coast Guard does, so it's a really good partnership.
I was honored to be invited to the Hardy Bay base opening, and I know that this was really important for Coast Guard, but it was also a reflection of the wonderful art that your family has been producing for centuries.
So when I was doing the liaison position, I really wanted to make sure that the Kwakiutl were involved. We created a design that would somewhat resemble a big house. With that also came some artwork that needed to be done. My uncle Stan was awarded the 2 welcoming poles. Our third piece that he did was a panel in our conference room now, and then my uncle Calvin did a 32-foot pole in the front of the base. I was blessed to be able to be a part of that.
When I first started carving, I worked with our dad, Henry Hunt, but it was our dad, the reason I keep carving today. Then I was commissioned to do those 2 totem poles for the Coast Guard. And then I thought about Michelle, every day that she walks by those totem poles. We took a lot of great pride in making those totem poles and making them so that you could walk by them.
Planning the event, there was so much to be a part of this opening, and it wasn't just the grand opening, it was also the dedication of the vessel that's up here, our Pachina Bay.
Your late father, David, I know he said many hands make light work, and that's really what the event was about and why it was so successful, because it was everybody coming together.
That was a historic day yesterday. The picture of all the Coast Guard brass in front of that panel and how proud they all look. That picture was powerful.
My uncle and I were having a conversation. We were just talking about reconciliation. And my uncle said, you know what, it happens in person. It happens when we learn to get to know one another. And with that, he wanted to invite the Coast Guard out to help him with the pole. So that the carving had been done and now it was time to paint. And it was pretty historic to me because they weren't Coast Guard and Kwakiutl. They were just people there with a common goal of painting a totem pole and just chit-chatting.
For me to see what Michelle's doing today, it's been amazing because she's a strong Kwakiutl woman. I think that the communities that you work with are blessed to have you in the position you're in. You're working with a group of people that are amazing people. I really respect that the Coast Guard has taken a stance in reconciliation, that we don't come to town to tell you how we're going to do it. We come to town to listen to you. So I know that you will take that to heart and make the Coast Guard proud, and you'll certainly make the Kwakiutl proud.
It's been a pretty amazing last few years. You know, I got home and I bought this building that had been sitting abandoned for a few years and fixed it up, and it was the old band office when I was a little kid that my dad worked out of, and now my kitchen is his old office. And so there's little things that I could only have when being home, you know, and it fills my heart and gives me peace. In my role right now, I feel like we're just starting. We're just starting. And there's so much more that we're going to do, and there's so much more that we're going to build. And I see big things, Coast Guard and coastal nations.
I honor you, I honor your grandmother,
Thank you.
your mother, and your aunties.
Thank you.
In my own words, Nailagoa, it's been an honor.
Gila Kesla. Thank you.